It's amazing how much we rely on software these days, right? I mean, think about it. Ordering food, managing your bank account, pretty much everything's online now.
It really is.
And we've all been there, when an app crashes or glitches out. Super frustrating.
Definitely.
But
Yeah.
here's the thing. AI is starting to change all that, helping us build software that's, well, just better, more reliable.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to really dig into today, how AI is revolutionizing software testing.
Right.
We've got this super interesting article all about it. And by the way, you don't need to be a coder or anything to follow along.
Oh, absolutely.
We'll break it all down, make it clear for everyone. Okay, so the article starts off by talking about the old way of testing software, the traditional way.
Okay.
And honestly, I'd never really thought about how much work actually goes into making sure software, just works.
It's a huge undertaking.
It is.
You have to test everything, every button, every link, every way a user could possibly interact with the app.
Yeah.
And the thing is, software's always changing,
Yeah.
always being updated. So it's like a constant battle to stay ahead of all the glitches and bugs.
Yeah.
The article mentions how, doing all that manually, well, it takes forever.
Yeah.
And we're human, right? We make mistakes.
Yeah.
And on top of that, software's just gotten so complex these days. The old ways of testing are really struggling to keep up.
That makes a lot of sense. Like the article used that example, just a small change to the checkout process on an e-commerce site.
Yeah.
And even something that small, a little tweak, can mess up all the automated tests they had set up before.
Exactly, yeah. Because those tests are often looking for very specific bits of code.
Right.
And if that code changes even a little bit, the test fails.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that's where AI comes in.
Yeah, exactly. That's where AI shines.
Yeah.
It can adapt.
Okay.
So these AI-powered tools, they can actually learn from the changes you make, adjust the testing as you go. It's not like those old rigid scripts anymore. It's like you've got this smart assistant almost, making sure everything still works as it should, even as the software changes and grows.
So it's like it's thinking for itself, in a way.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And it can analyze how people are actually using the software
Okay.
and, historical data and all that to build even more comprehensive tests.
So like taking all that information into account.
Right, exactly. Like imagine you're Netflix.
Okay.
You've got to make sure that millions of people all over the world can stream movies and shows
Yeah.
on all these different devices with all sorts of different internet connections.
Right. All these different scenarios.
Yeah, and trying to test all that manually. Forget it.
Yeah. No way.
But AI can simulate those real-world conditions.
Yeah. Wow.
Make sure everyone has a good experience no matter what they're using or where they are.
So it's really taking testing to a whole new level.
Absolutely. And it gets even more interesting when you think about what the article calls flaky tests. Have you heard of those?
I don't think so.
So these are tests that sometimes they pass, sometimes they fail.
Oh.
No clear reason why.
So frustrating.
Super frustrating for developers, yeah.
Yeah.
But AI can help. It can actually identify those unreliable tests and fix them.
Really?
Yeah. Like Google, they're using AI to look at all the data they get from their testing, find those flaky tests.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah, it makes the whole process a lot smoother, more efficient.
Okay, so AI can do all that. But the article also mentioned like predicting bugs before they even happen.
Yeah.
How is that even possible?
That's the predictive power of AI, right?
Yeah.
The article talks about this tool called AppleTools.
Okay.
Uses AI to examine past defects, and code changes.
Yeah.
And by analyzing all that, it can actually predict which parts of the application are most likely to have problems in the future. It's kind of wild.
It's like, yeah, like predicting the future.
It really is.
So can AI actually write the tests themselves?
And it's getting there.
Wow.
Imagine you give the AI a set of requirements, right? Like a description of how this new feature is supposed to work.
Okay.
And it uses something called natural language processing, NLP,
Oh, right.
to understand those requirements. It's like it's reading plain English.
Wow.
And then based on that understanding, it can automatically create the tests.
So it's like it's reading a user manual and then
Yeah.
like writing a quiz on it.
That's a great analogy.
That's wild.
And there's more, this AI detective, it can also analyze code and look at past bugs and
Yeah.
try to predict what issues might pop up down the line.
Mm.
Like think about IBM's Watson, right? It sifts through mountains of data, tons of code to try and spot potential problems before they become big headaches for users.
And that's especially helpful with those really huge, complicated systems, right?
Well, absolutely. Where trying to find a bug is It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, AI is really changing the game here.
It sounds like it. Okay, so we've talked about AI being this really efficient tester, creating these super thorough tests, and even predicting where bugs might pop up. But the article mentions some companies that are actually using this stuff in the real world.
Yeah, some pretty interesting examples out there.
Yeah, what are some of those?
Well, we've already touched on Google, right?
Yeah.
Using AI to catch those flaky tests.
Right, right.
And IBM using Watson to analyze mountains of code. But there's also Facebook.
Okay.
They've got this AI tool called Sapiens.
Sapiens.
It basically acts like a digital explorer, just kind of poking around in their software, seeing if it can find any weak spots or vulnerabilities.
Oh, interesting.
And then there's Amazon.
Okay.
They're using AI in their systems that monitor their live software.
Oh, wow.
So if something weird happens, something out of the ordinary, the AI flags it, and then that helps guide their testing efforts,
Yeah.
so they can address things proactively.
So they're kind of staying ahead of the game?
Well,
That's amazing. It's
yeah.
really cool to see how companies are actually using this technology right now.
Yeah, it's not just some futuristic concept anymore.
Right, exactly.
It's happening.
Yeah, it's
Right.
happening now. And it's making their products better, which is good for all of us.
Absolutely. And the impact goes way beyond just the tech side of things.
Oh, okay.
Think about it.
Yeah.
If you can find bugs faster and fix them faster, well, you can release updates more quickly,
Right.
which means users, you get all the cool new features and improvements sooner.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No more waiting forever for those updates.
And from a business perspective, it saves money because you don't need as many people doing all that manual testing.
Right. Makes sense.
So those resources can be used for other things.
Okay, this all sounds pretty amazing, but are there any downsides? I mean, any drawbacks to using AI for testing?
Well, of course, no technology is perfect, right?
Right.
One of the big challenges is the initial investment.
Oh, okay.
AI tools, they can be expensive to buy, and you need people who know how to use them, how to set them up, manage them properly.
So it's not just like plug and play.
No, not really.
Okay.
Another important thing is these AI algorithms, they need good data to learn from.
Oh, all right.
If the data's bad or incomplete or biased somehow, well, the AI isn't going to be as accurate,
Makes sense.
It's like that old saying, garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to make sure you're feeding the AI the right stuff.
Right.
Okay, so there are challenges, but it seems like overall, the good stuff, the benefits, they outweigh the bad.
I'd say so, yeah. It's a field that's changing really quickly, evolving fast, lots of potential to make software just better overall.
And that's good for everyone who uses software.
Exactly.
It's really incredible to think about how far AI has come in such a short time.
It really is.
It's already having a huge impact, changing how software is made, how it's tested.
Absolutely. And it's
Yeah.
only going to get more and more sophisticated,
Yeah.
more integrated into the whole process.
So what does all this mean for the future of software development? Like, if AI can write the tests, run the tests, even predict bugs,
Yeah.
does that mean we won't need human testers anymore?
That's a question a lot of people are asking.
Yeah, it's a big one.
It is. But I think it's important to look at the bigger picture here. AI's impact, it goes way beyond just testing jobs.
Okay.
The potential for AI to automate things that humans are doing now, that potential is huge, not just in software, but in lots of different fields.
So this is part of a larger conversation then about how AI is changing work in general.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's important to remember that, yes, AI can automate some things, but it also creates new opportunities.
Okay.
So as AI becomes more involved in testing, there's going to be growing demand for people who can develop these AI systems,
Right.
implement them, manage them, all that.
So it's not necessarily about AI replacing humans,
Right.
but more about changing what those human roles look like.
Exactly. Human testers, they're going to have to adapt, learn new skills, and focus on the things that AI is not so good at yet.
Okay, like what kind of things?
Strategic thinking, creativity, complex problem solving, things like that.
So the human element is still really important.
Absolutely.
Okay, this has been such an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
AI is definitely changing the game when it comes to software, but it also brings up these really big questions about the future of work, how we adapt to all these changes that are happening.
It really does.
It's pretty mind-blowing, all this stuff about AI and software testing. It feels like we've only just scratched the surface.
Yeah, right. Sure.
But it makes you wonder, what other industries could use this kind of AI quality control?
Oh, that's a great question, and it really gets at the heart of AI's potential. If AI can learn to find bugs in code, think about all the other areas where it could be applied.
Yeah, like what?
Well, imagine AI helping doctors, for example,
Okay.
analyzing medical images, like
Mhm.
scans, to catch potential problems earlier, maybe even more accurately than humans. Or
Wow.
think about engineers using AI to design safer bridges, safer buildings,
Okay,
by
yeah.
spotting structural weaknesses before they even start building.
That's incredible. Like AI actually helping to prevent accidents or even save lives.
Exactly. The possibilities are, I mean, they're pretty vast.
They really are.
Of
It's exciting to think about. But we've talked about some of the challenges too, right?
course, yeah.
Like AI needing good data and the potential for some jobs to be lost.
Right.
It's definitely something we need to be really careful about, talking about figuring out how to use this technology responsibly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As we embrace all this new stuff, we have to think about the implications, the good and the bad.
Right.
It's on all of us to make sure AI is being used ethically in a way that actually benefits everyone.
I completely agree. This deep dive has been, I don't know, just really eye-opening. We started with the nitty-gritty of software testing.
Hmm.
Then we got into all this amazing AI stuff, and now we're talking about like the future of all these different
It's
industries.
a lot to process, that's for sure.
It is. But I'm walking away from this feeling, I don't know, optimistic, I guess,
Me too.
about the potential.
Yeah, it's a really exciting time. AI is changing how we solve problems, and it has the power to make our lives better in so many ways, ways we haven't even imagined yet.
That's a great point. Well, I think that's a great place to wrap things up. We've learned so much about software testing, about AI, and all the potential it has. Hopefully you, the listener, found this deep dive as fascinating as we did. And remember, this is just the beginning. Who knows what incredible things are just around the corner? Thanks for joining us, and until next time, keep exploring.